in my last video, I was talking about how Triple H states that Raw on Netflix will remain uncensored, and that's probably one of the best decisions they've ever done, because after like 10 to 12 years, WWE has been nothing but unwatchable because of its PG guidelines, wacky, campy, corny storylines, John Cena being shoved in people's throats, and not only that, Roman Reigns trying to beat the John Cena 2.0 because of Vince McMahon. But thankfully, when 2020 rolled around, that's when him and the Bloodline just completely changed WWE for what it is today. Not only that, but the PG era has officially ended this year, and that's all we've ever wanted. And now I get to sit back, relax, and enjoy WWE once again. So this is pretty much an icing on the cake for me. So let's get to the video. Shout out to Triple H.
We're gonna put smoke and shit. We did. That's on us.
I like how they have a like inside of a gym.
What's great, guard? Yeah.
It looks like some type of gymnasium or something like that. I don't know.
You gonna do it? Go ahead. Just aim that way. I was, I just, for future reference, a little intimidating walking across here. You don't know if you should cross the cornhole tournament or if you should go into the paint. You should cross the green.
Yep. A lot of options.
There's a lot of options.
So, Mr. H, cornhole board's brand new, actually. Just got shipped here. So all this shit has just been shipped here, okay, from people we don't know. Yeah. So it's hard not, like cornhole boards, those are hand-painted, very good boards.
Oh, yeah.
So those just got put out, I believe, this weekend. The green got sent here, and it's been a fantastic addition. You can play a little pickleball, too, if you want to. We can put a net up for you. We have a pickleball court already set up here.
I was actually standing over there listening to you do the show and thinking NXT should come in here and put a ring up right there and run an event out of your studio, out of the Thunderdome.
Okay, let's make it official.
Yes. Yeah, I'll get it.
Maybe the Speed Championship.
Boom.
Boom.
There it
okay,
is.
all right, so we got an NXT.
Binding contract.
Yeah, home of a future NXT event here at the Thunderdome. Okay, let's talk about Indianapolis, Indiana. Massive news breaks today. You guys at the WWE and Indianapolis Sports Corp have found a way to get all three main, I mean, the big ones, all three of them coming to Indianapolis, Indiana. We got the Royal Rumble, which is obviously a fan favorite every single year because the nostalgia that get shown and obviously all the incredible moments that have taken place. SummerSlam, party of the summer. Hey, how you doing? I'm going to SummerSlam. Life is great. Major moments in the history of WWE. And then WrestleMania, also coming to Indianapolis. And Monday Night Raw is here tonight. We appreciate the hell out of you.
This is why I love Triple H. You got 3 events, WrestleMania, Raw, and even, SummerSlam, I believe. But when Triple H decides to do the PLE, having these pay-per-view events and overseas, like, we know that Saudi Arabia is, well, it does count because it exists. Then we got the UK, we got France, we got, what else? Spain? Like, just imagine WWE doing a show, a PLE in Spain. Like, that would have been something that the Spain fans would have absolutely loved to see their favorite WWE wrestlers over their country. This is the fact that Triple H is just a humble guy, because all he wants to just make WWE great again.
Tell you how I got here is I got tired of you asking about it.
Yes.
Tired of wearing me out on it. Pat has been the biggest advocate for us coming here to Indy, and I feel like ever since you hijacked, was it Fastlane?
Yeah.
Ever since you hijacked Fastlane and put it in people's mind, you've been wearing me out on it. You've been wearing Nick out on it, and we just we got to a place where we were like, look, just give him everything and just shut up. But one thing you can do is talk, my friend. And you got us there.
Yeah,
so
too much.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, well, we're a city that's like perfect for it, and I appreciate you guys listening. And obviously, every time you come to Indy, it's a massive show. I mean, the Shield Seth Rollins turns here. The amount of things that have happened in Indianapolis, and the Indianapolis wrestling community is a huge one, but our city is ready to host. Like, we are excited to host. It's easy drive from so many cities. You're talking about Ohio, Michigan, Chicago, St. Louis. It's like, we're ready for it. We're excited for it. And anytime WWE shows up, it's an awesome time in every city.
Yeah, it'll be massive. All those events will be massive. Plus, we're going to come here. We'll do our normal cadence of Raw and SmackDowns and live events here as well, and in the surrounding cities. So it's a great partnership over the next few years. I'm really excited for it. And the Sports Corp here, which is headed by a guy, Patrick Talty, who I've known for a long period of time. He's a great guy. He used to work for us at WWE. And just a wonderful guy that was really instrumental in us getting here as well.
The city loves
dope,
hosting
right?
stuff, and that Indiana Sports Corp's a good group. They just negotiated the Olympic trials with USA Swimming to be here in the middle of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, swimming was just here, right?
Yeah, literally wrapped up yesterday. Michael Phelps got a big pop.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Incredible.
his first time back. That was
Huge star.
Yeah, huge. That was his first time
Really?
back, though. I think there was a little. I don't want to speak out of pocket for anybody, but I think there was a little
So is
disagreement.
he swimming
Little
again?
friction.
Yeah, like whenever somebody has an incredible run with something, and then it kind of.
The last time I heard something about Michael Phelps was he got into some legal issues or something like that. I'm not sure, but that's what I basically heard in the past. But the only time I heard from him was I guess he was sponsored by Subway. I'm not sure, but the fact that he's back in the Olympics is pretty much a game changer. If y'all know what's going on with Michael Phelps, let me know in the chat.
It does happen in WWE, and now so going back, I think, is a big deal. And then the pop was huge. Like, it was.
When you're at the top
bet
and
it
then you've
was.
got to step back and welcome somebody else at the top, it's always tricky.
Well, your
for
business,
both sides.
Yeah, your business is certainly one that has been in spotlight for that, but the business has gone on for so damn long. Let's talk about where the business is right now.
Yeah.
On fire.
On fire.
Absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, it's hard for us to say it in any other way. I feel like every week we're putting out a new. You mentioned Chris over there putting out a new press release of some kind of.
We've known him a long time. He was with the Zone when the show was getting licensed.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like him now?
Chris, yeah.
I heard at first it was a little bit. He was a suit, and you're not big on those.
You look good in one, by the way. You don't operate as one, so that's good. But he did.
I just have to wear one. That's not my gig, right? But with him, he is a suit, and you know that. It didn't work out at first, but now you're in a good place, I've heard.
Yeah, he's good. He works hard, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
A lot of the suits that I've potentially encountered, seem to lack one particular trait that I think is vital, which is a work ethic. So I have issues with that. So, like, for him, he works his ass off. So I am a massive fan and earned his respect. But you're right, press releases are going big. I want to show a clip here before the boys have their questions from France, okay? And obviously, I'm a WWE fan. So I know, like, the international crowds are awesome. The European crowds in soccer, they're known as the fan base, like the hooligans. For wrestling, though, I always knew, like, when you guys would take a show over there, we'd see clips on the internet. Crowd was insane. Insane. Here's a clip from this.
This is a couple months ago, Lyon, France.
What show?
Backlash?
Backlash. This is Backlash. Okay, in Lyon, France. The WWE's over there. Listen to this crowd basically shake the building until it almost collapses.
I remember this. I saw this on Twitter. Bruh, the French crowd, I honestly don't know which crowds are the best, but the French crowd, bruh, y'all are like the best. And the match with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes was even crazier. They know how to, like, make any PO Elite event look great because their energy is just so raw and passionate. I just wish the U.S. crowd could just do the same because it doesn't make any sense as to why the international crowd always gotta make any shows better than what we used to see on Raw and SmackDown. Look at that.
The camera is bouncing.
That's Michael Cole.
Yeah.
He'll be here later, potentially. Obviously, he
I can't
also
believe he,
massive
like,
suit and stooge. Can't wait to
broke
talk
the
to
fourth
him.
wall, though,
But
basically.
is this one of the main reasons with what you've experienced with the European crowds and taking the show on the road, why that Netflix deal is such a big deal? Because I feel like that is a truly global platform, right? And
Yes.
is this what you're
I
trying
love
to
that
kind
chant.
of cherish almost and take care of through it all?
WWE is one of the only true global products, right? When you break things down, and there's other ones that are there, but like when you break things down, like it's becoming much bigger, obviously, but soccer is becoming big in the U.S., but it was massive everywhere else, right? Like football in the U.S., they're trying to move it outside of the U.S. Other sports, they don't all resonate. WWE, we go everywhere. I mean, there's not a place in the world that I've not been over the years of my career, a country or a place on the planet that we've not been to where there's a massive fan base. Even sometimes we would go to places. I went to Russia years back where we didn't even have TV there, and we were completely sold out, and people were insane over it just based on bootlegging. You know,
old school.
Yeah, and so the international stuff for us is massive, and a platform like Netflix. So when we move over to Netflix in January, we will immediately, when they pull that trigger, be on live with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the PLEs, including WrestleMania, in 80% of the world outside of the U.S. immediately, which is right now we're just individual deals, so every place is slightly different.
I give shout out to Triple H because he's able to like make sure the international people overseas get to access Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or any other pay-per-views that they don't have. But as far as like Russia goes, like imagine having a PLE or a WrestleMania in Russia. Lord, I can only imagine the crowd would have lose their minds. Any surprise appearances or whatever. But the one thing that I've always appreciated Paul for, just how passionate he is about the company, and he's willing to just give the fans what they want. But when January comes around in 2025, something tells me they're gonna probably air the first episode on Netflix of the first episode of Monday Night Raw in 1993. That would be the perfect way to debut on Netflix. Same date, same airing, same debut. Game changer.
Percent of it is on Netflix internationally.
Damn.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
So it's a massive deal,
shout
and
out to
it's
Blaze,
why Nick and I are so. Nick Khan, our president, who's amazing.
We second that.
Yes.
Yes.
we do.
We're so adamant about expanding and reaching outside of the U.S. for a lot of what we do. It's why you've seen us in the last since January of this year, right? We were in Perth, Australia. Then we did WrestleMania, 2 nights at WrestleMania, obviously. Then we went to Lyon, France. We went to Saudi Arabia. We come back to Scotland. We're going to Canada in a couple of weeks. We come back for SummerSlam in Cleveland. Then we go to Berlin, Germany. It's just outside
Germany?
of the U.S. Everything is so big, and the U.S.
man.
markets are going to have to step up there.
Got a PLE in Canada. Every time I hear the word Canada, I think of Justin Bieber.
International markets are putting them to shame.
Well, Indianapolis will show.
Yeah, you guys
That's
show
why I
up,
got
no
the deal.
doubt.
Yeah, absolutely here in Indy. But I did hear from some of the people that were part of like the France show and the Clash at the Castle in Scotland, and then you come back to an American like operation or whatever, and it's like, okay, a little bit different reactions whenever things happen, and trying to play it and create the greatest show. And I think the thing about the WWE and why it translates is because like everybody can see what they like. There's entertainment obviously in it, there's comedy, there's action, there's mind-blowing in world class athleticism happening in front of you. There's an environment, and then there's horror as well. So Chad Gable, good.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Really?
You see things on TV, and it escalated quickly from there's Chad Gable laying down. He's obviously unconscious, has a little bit of blood on him. To oh my God, he got shot in the head and he's dead.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And here's obituaries being put up on him. And,
all over
people
Twitter.
wishing
Yeah.
him well. Look, it's one of the wonderful things about our fans is they just love to be engaged in the product.
You know what? The thing about last week's episode of Raw, when the Wyatt Six debuted, it completely changed the game. It completely broke out on social media, and a lot of people were thinking if Bray Wyatt was here, he would have been proud to to see all of that, But he's in heaven and he's watching them work with his craft.
Where it can go and what it's going to be. And it's an awesome part of what we do. So every now and then we got to pull back into reality a little bit. Like, no, Chad Gable is still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
That for the record.
That's crazy. He was an Olympian.
He's still alive, and if you come here
Twitter
tonight, you will probably see him actually competing.
Whoa.
That's the kind of stud he is. Yes.
Tonight?
Actually,
Tonight.
Whoa.
That's huge.
Wow. Maybe he's back.
So
He's
whatever
been
happened
an
last
asshole
week,
there
that
for a
was
while.
all
yeah.
entertainment.
At Alpha Academy. But I think it's all those things that encompass wrestling. That is why it's such a global phenomenon. You can't help but be a fan. Last question for me. You mentioned his name, Nick Khan. He, obviously, we know him very well, and I'm a big fan of his as well. He has a massive brain. He's also a wrestling fan, though. Right, like grew up a wrestling fan, and he also happens to be one of the greatest business people of all time. What a weapon that has been for the WWE, and I assume you feel that way as well.
Massive, yeah. Like, look, I've never really met a better businessman than Nick that is so intuitive to just what is going on. Like, it was funny, for a few years before the TKO merger where we would do earnings calls, and I felt like the investors wanted to know as much of Nick's opinion as of what was happening to outside sports as what was happening within WWE as he was talking, because his insight is so good. Plus, it's funny that he, at one point in time, if you would look Nick up, he would be seen, it would be written like most powerful man in sports, right? He's doing all these massive deals. But in many ways, like, he's not a massive outside sports fan. He doesn't know that much about all these other sports. He does, but he's not like, you would think that he would be like so into it. What he's really into is combat sports like boxing and MMA, and what we do in pro wrestling and WWE. I mean, he is just a massive fan of that. Grew up, was an usher at WrestleMania at Caesar's Palace, was like, he's just super into it. So when I first met him, having that insight from him on all these other business things that we were doing, and him giving me his opinion that always 99% of the time ended up being dead on, plus him being such a big fan, we just got along.
And that's the way it should be. Get people that are passionate, that are fans of the product, and you get yourself $1 billion company. That's all you got to do. Hire people that are fans of the product, that knows about the product. If you work together and make a buttload of money, WWE is going to become great again.
Enough to have him come into the company, and I'm lucky enough now I get to work with him every day and get his insight on everything.
He's a genius.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't put that kind of stamp on a lot of people, because I think a lot of people are really good at what they do, and that's where it stops. He's a genius.
Yeah, he's been fun to just send questions and fire questions at. Like, hey, I hate this guy. I don't like the way he's talking to me at all. Should I? And then I'll get a text from Nick like, tell me, all good, what's going on? His all good thing.
All good.
All good. Any situation. Like, Chaco, right? Yeah. I think his motto is good. Like, anytime something happens, no matter what it is, good. Like, now we move on. I think Texas A&M, the baseball team, actually has good across their hats right now. I think it's like kind of the, hey, no matter what, good, now what, good, now what, kind of like the messaging or whatever. It's like that's Nick Khan, seemingly, in like business. Like,
I only worry if Nick sends me a text and it doesn't say all good.
Oh, I've never got one of those.
If it doesn't say all good, I'm like, oh, something's going on.
We got to figure this one out. Connor has a question for you.
So, Mr. H, as you go globally with the WWE, do you have to think about like people who are viewing the product for the first time ever? Like, will you specifically do things at certain shows or try and market in a certain way based on knowing the fact that, hey, there's some people in this country that have never seen any WWE products, let's do this tonight? Or is that not even a thought and you just kind of have a longer term plan where you're heading towards?
So I think we have a longer term plan where we're headed towards, but there's always the one of the things that is so great about what we do is we run the gamut of across like everything, right? From across like every race, every nationality, everything. But then we run the family thing of like grandfathers and grandmothers are watching with their grandkids and their kids, and you know what I mean? And it goes down the line. So you sort of have to, I feel like you sort of have to look at it all the time of like, this might be this kid's first day watching this. And you don't want them to be there like, I have no idea who this is or why this is important. You always want to kind of, you don't want to insult the people that watch every day and overly tell them everything. Same point in time, you want to keep it for the people that don't know, make sure that they have at least of a base understanding of it while they're watching it to get what's going to happen. And the other great thing about what we do right now is everything, no matter what it is at the touch of a button on the internet. So, you know,
you guys have leaned.
And it's all thanks to social media, because I like when he said that even though this is kids' first time watching WWE Raw or SmackDown, I would probably have to start them off in the Attitude Era, because that's where the late 90s greatness began, and the Ruthless Aggression Era. But when you think about it, if they're watching WWE for the first time, try not to at least insult their talent, just because kids know what's this and that, because they've seen stuff on TV and they go to social media and their friends and everybody around them know all of this stuff. Kids are not stupid. They're way smarter than us. You know what I'm saying? So if you have them watch Raw or SmackDown for the first time with their families, with their moms, their grandmothers, dads, and grandfathers, everybody is hooked instantly. But at the same time, the PG era is done. So what they can do is just come up with a great idea of having SmackDown on USA. It can stay PG, but be more agier. You don't always have to like be family friendly towards the kids, because like I said, kids watch horror movies. They know about the blood and the gore and the violence and all of that. Same with the teenagers and adults. If you could just somehow do all of that in Netflix in 2025, which they will, because pretty much Triple H just confirmed this, I think WWE as a whole is going to become, like I've stated in the past, the most watched product in history. And it shows.
Media following, you know, with billions of people that we're the number one, I think we're like the number 7 channel on all of YouTube, or
really?
Somewhere in that range, which is not sports, like for all of YouTube, you know. The following is massive. The amount of traffic we do is massive, but you can utilize that as a weapon, because when people don't know something, if you just give them enough information, they can go look for it. They'll go find it. You know, and it's right there in front of them.
So live in Dom's kiss. Legitimately, you know?
Oh, yeah.
USA.
We got to talk about the storyline.
Immediately afterwards, the arena knows. Arena sees everything that takes place. And for those that don't know, Liv is our champion.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And she's currently seemingly hot to trot for this scumbag named Dominic Mysterio, who has a mommy who's
I like how
currently
he's
injured
saying
by Liv Morgan.
You guessed it.
So it's quite a
I like how he's
conundrum
pretty
for
much
this
somehow
dirtbag,
staying in
Dominic.
character.
And Dom, when
While
you look
talking
at him,
about this.
yeah, it's not like you look at Dom and go like, well, this is the guy that all the chicks are
Yeah,
chasing.
incredibly ugly. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the hair is fantastic, but
He does have
When the
good
mullet.
hair.
It's a good flow, and obviously his moxie and his confidence is something that he shouldn't have. You know, but he has no self-awareness. That's kind of the Dominic Mysterio thing. Rey Mysterio, we love. Boy, we love
him.
Apparently, Dom's a machine, though.
Yes,
know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing a good job as a heel, though. I ain't gonna lie.
my respect for him has certainly started to. In moments, I'm like, all right, Dom, and I'm like, nah, I remember the guy sucks, you know. And then I have to win. But anyways, that happens immediately. There he is.
I mean,
there he is.
that's good luck.
Walking the mullet.
Look at that mustache, though. It embarrasses everything happening on top. Yeah, this guy stinks. Nonetheless, his kiss with Liv happens immediately after the show ends.
I love Pat McAfee.
But it's still in the arena. Then all the videos from the arena go, and it's like 100 million, 200 million views. And you guys like utilize social media as a part of your entire product. And it feels like WWE has always been ahead of the curve of everybody else. Legitimately feels that way. Do you think it's because everybody in your business has like a content mind? Do you think it's because it's not as big as people might think? There's only, I don't want to say only a few people, but there is a smaller amount of people that are kind of directing traffic in that. Why do you think you guys lean into shit before everybody else?
I think our fan base is just so ravenous for it. Like, there's really nothing else that episodically airs. If you want to look at us, like I say this a lot, we're not a sport. We're a movie about a sport, or a TV show about a sport, right? So the interest of all the other things happening are just as great as what happens in the ring. But people are so interested in not only those storylines, but then who are the real people behind those storylines, and yeah, just the drama of all of it. So if you're younger, or if you want to buy into it that much, the drama of the storylines. If you're in a different mindset, the drama of what's happening behind the scenes. Is that guy leaving? Is he signing his contract? Is he going to stay? I heard he's got problems with management. They're trying to restrict his style. Whatever
they're burying him.
Yeah, you get shot in the head. Whatever
Yeah,
your mindset is to where you want to go with this, you can go there and follow up with it on a regular basis. And the content, it's easy to watch, it's easy to understand, right? So you can sit on a bus or a train or in your car or whatever and just watch clips, and they do massively well, right?
Yes, you guys crush on the internet, obviously. D-Butt has a question for you, Mr. H.
Yeah, we had the final boss on the show. A lot of people don't notice, but obviously athletes, regardless of how long you've been in the game, how long you played, you still kind of get those butterflies or nerves before a match. Obviously, we grew up watching in the Attitude Era. What are those nerves like now, being the CCO behind the scenes? Are they similar to when you were a superstar in the ring, or kind of different, or how does that play out?
So I say this a lot to explain it. It's like having your career and what that means to you, the nerves of being a player, the moment before you walk on the court or the field or in the ring or whatever that is, those nerves that because you're so passionate about what you do, but then being a parent and standing there watching your kid go do it, the nerves that you have for them, the passion that you have for them to go do it, right? The internet will joke a lot about my NXT or the WWE kids or whatever it is. It kind of is like that, because you're invested so much in all these talent, men and women who are trying to do what you did, live their dream and have these moments, and you try to write all this stuff, and then they bring their spin to it and put their stamp on it, and you want it to be so good for them that it's just I think the butterflies are almost worse for me now watching, and then especially when they're doing dangerous stuff, which a lot of this, they're professionals and they're highly trained to do it, but there's very little space between something being part of the show and something being overly real here.
Almost falling off the top ropes. Yeah,
sure. And you sit there and you hold. When the announcer gets up on the chair with wheels on it, and spinning in a circle.
This is SummerSlam in Nashville. This is SummerSlam in Nashville, and that's little Nate, Charles Robinson right there. And that is me go, oh my God, I'm about to fall right on little Nate right here. And then I just stumble off onto Baron Corbin. And then that has been in my mind forever. So anytime somebody's like, you getting back in the ring? I'm like, there was a moment where I thought I was dying. And the only person I could see was little Nate. And he's like, what do you need from me?
Good luck.
But that could happen at any moment. That could literally happen at any moment whenever we're watching anything that's taken over.
Can happen at any moment. We were just in Scotland. Damian Priest goes to do a dive over the top rope.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Before we get into the Damian Priest stuff, I want to go back on what Triple H said about watching his talents. It's like watching his students go out there and just get creative and just have fun doing it. That's a passionate boss, a passionate father that wants everybody in his court to just have a good time, but also being professional at the same time. And I love how he said the fact that you get the same kind of nerve when you're in the Attitude Era, being inside the ring, to being behind the scenes, watching the people that you work with go out there and just bring it to life. And that's what professional wrestling is all about. You being on the creative side, and when your creativity comes to life, you know that everyone's favorite wrestlers or superstars could just go out there and just make it 10 times better. So I really love when he says this though, but I'm gonna get a little bit on the Damian Priest botch during the live event. It was scary because that pay-per-view last week was nothing but like botches everywhere, and you can see it with the women's tag match and Damian Priest when he almost dislocated his ankle, but thankfully he's fine. But that was probably the biggest lesson we could all learn, and just be careful of what you do, because one wrong move, can end your career just like that.
Finch, foot slips off the rope. His ankle gets caught up in the top rope, and in one move, he is hanging upside down by one leg. Looked like he killed himself. Looked like his leg just...
That was scary, bro.
Looked like everything tore, the joint snapped, and all this stuff. Here it is.
There it is.
Oh, God.
We have communication with the referees and everything like that, and now they're trying to figure out how to get him out of there. And
Drew McIntyre's like, we're in Glasgow, so
yeah, I'm just gonna kick him till he falls out. Yeah, but when you see that, that's live, right? I'm like, oh my God, show's over. We're gonna have to get him out of there, stretcher him out, and my wheels are immediately spinning about where we go with this. And we ask, is he okay? And then a few seconds later, says he's fine. And I'm like, there's no way he is fine. And we ask
my ankle
again,
would have been gone
says
right
he's
there.
fine. And he gets up and I can see him, and he's adamant that he is totally fine. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna watch. I'm thinking maybe adrenaline here, but he turned out he was totally fine. But that stuff happens all the time. So when you talk about nerves, it's the nerves of how well this will go. It's the nerves of the moment in time. It's the nerves of the big event. It's also the nerves of, I want these kids to all come out of here safe and in one piece when it's over.
I was just saying that.
And their safety comes, first and foremost in everything we do. So there's nerves all the way around. Might be worse for me now. When I was, 25, 30 years old and I was going to the ring, I just didn't care. I just wanted to put on a good show, and I didn't care what happened to me or anything else.
everything hurts.
Everything.
That's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Those ropes hurt. Like, oh, I want to run ropes. That'll be fun. I got drunk and bought a ring whenever I was a rookie in the NFL. I found out you could buy wrestling rings on the internet.
It's just a shocking story.
Yeah, right.
I would have never seen that.
I was getting ready to come,
Yeah.
I was getting ready to come hit you. I was going to do it all. So I bought one like 2, 3 a.m. or whatever in the summer. Thing shows up on an 18-wheeler. A few months later, I'd forgotten that I had ordered it, obviously, put it into the barn, put the whole thing together. It took me like 8 hours with a couple friends to figure out how to put that thing together that everybody's doing every single day. And I'm like, this will be fun. We worked our asses off to get in here. I run the ropes like the first time. I'm like, that hurts so bad. So when am I ever going to do that? Never. So then I'm like, let me go ahead and drop an elbow here in the middle of the ring. We'll do people's elbow. We'll do the whole thing. Boom, bang. I hit the ground. Every bone in my body cracked, and it hurt so bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm never going to do this again unless
It
I'm
ain't
signing up
fake
to
when
get
you
injured.
try to
So
wrestle a
literally
person for the
everything that
first time.
happens in
That's
there
when
hurts.
you
And
kinda change your
I think that's
mind.
why the more you learn about the business, the more you appreciate it. That's why your fans, I think, continue to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, because there's like so much respect that needs to be shown to everybody that's in there, and it's insanity. It is absolute insanity to
It's
go in there and do
also
it.
why, because you still get people every now and then that don't watch and don't understand it, that will come up to you if you're a performer in this business and say, isn't that fake, right? It's fake, isn't it? You know what I mean? Isn't that fake? And it's like, yeah, no, the word fake bothers them so much because of what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
It's like getting hit by a
yeah.
bus every day, and that ain't fake. And
They
all
wouldn't
the
know
stuff
until
that
they
you
try
go through
themselves.
is not fake. Is it a storyline? Is it predetermined?
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa, no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Answer no.
No. You're right. The answer's no. Thanks. You're asking
Yeah.
questions. We're answering them.
And
I mean, here's the thing. Wrestling is fake as far as like the entertainment stuff goes, but what's not fake are the injuries. They're putting their bodies on the line every week for the fans, for the crowd. So you wouldn't know it unless you try yourself.
people angers them so much because of what they go through, and how much they'll have given of themselves and their bodies when they're done their careers.
Yeah,
but happily for people's entertainment,
Yeah, and the crowd's reactions.
Yeah.
Like, you watch all these documentaries about wrestlers and movies that are made about wrestlers. It's like that crowd reaction is literally, that is the thing.
Yeah.
That is the entire
It
thing.
is hard to put down, and unlike any sport where, if you're a player in the NFL, even if you're a boxer, an MMA, a fighter, whatever that is, your job sort of is to shut out all that outside noise, focus on your task, and go do it. In our business, the task is make them make noise. So you're keenly aware of every single reaction that they have, and that's the addictive piece of it. It's like a drug, that adrenaline that you get from that crowd, that electricity, that reaction is like nothing else, and it's why you see performers sometimes way past when they should be doing it, still doing it.
Yeah, Chase the Dragon.
Yeah.
It happens in, I think, every sport, but in wrestling, it feels like it is the preeminent thing about dealing with post. Ty has a question for you, Mr. H.
Yeah, Mr. H, when it comes to Netflix, and obviously this is a ways away,
this
and you
is
have
what I wanna
shows
hear.
damn near every single night, so you have a lot on your plate already, but have you thought at all about how you might kind of tweak some things and change it for the Netflix area with it not being on traditional linear TV? Or is it one of those things where it's like hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We don't want to go to Netflix and then have people be like, well, this is a completely different product. Why is it look different? Like, have you thought about what small changes or what you'd maybe like to try on Netflix that you're not necessarily afforded being on TV?
Absolutely. Hey, we spend large chunks of our time every day. When we're not thinking about business at hand now, we're thinking about those moments. So in the fall, as the shows shift around, and then once we get to Netflix is a completely different animal. It's a streaming service. How are commercials going to work? How are breaks going to work? What's the length of time? What are the restrictions? What are not restrictions? Like right now, just as an example of us being on Fox, and if the crowd chants "Holy shit" or something much worse, they just take that audio. Sometimes they take the picture and the audio off, and it's just black screen.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about The Rock.
Oh, the most annoying.
The Rock.
There was a
about
big message
SmackDown.
being delivered, and you guys just want the complete nothing. Remember, that was your decision.
Yeah. Look, The Rock comes in and you sort of kind of can't tell The Rock what to do, right? Like, what are we going to tell him? So he does what he does, but we won't have those issues. Netflix, right? The ability to be live globally, the ability to have everything seen all at once everywhere. It's a game-changing moment, and I think in many ways, not to disparage other partners because we want to be everywhere, but that's sort of where the world is heading, right? Is streaming services. You see the NFL sticking their toe in the water. NBA is, every sport is, right?
Yes.
And I think it's why this Netflix deal was so game-changing, and I think everybody's going to be watching us in January, especially those other sports. From a business side, they're going to be watching to see what we do differently, and how that's received.
Everybody from live content is very thankful you guys did a deal with Netflix.
Yes.
For a weekly live show.
Yes.
Just want to let you know that.
I think it's going to revolutionize that for everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
And opens that
Fingers
door
crossed.
massively. So, yeah, look.
Crush it. Come on.
Yeah, you're 100%. As soon as I saw you guys sign for how many bucks?
It had to be in the-
live.
It had
Yeah,
to be at the
baby,
beginning.
let's
That's all
go.
you really need to know.
That's
Yeah.
in front of live entertainment. So that's wrestling with a Netflix deal. Does the NFL have a Netflix?
Oh, they do.
They do. How much is that one? Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Don't be a selfish prick here, Pat.
One of 5
Send the
wins.
congratulations
Oh, wow.
where they are. Send the
WWE was
congratulations.
taking
Say
W's, bro.
congratulations before you ask for a contact number.
Exactly. Mr.
Yeah.
No, but it's awesome. You guys have always done that, though. Literally started the WWE Network before anybody else started their own, and everybody tried to do it, and then now you guys have.
Like I said, I just want to take the time to appreciate Paul Levesque for just once again making WWE great again. Because unlike Fox, Raw is going to be very uncensored, and I'm glad to see a product like WWE can just go back to the glory days, but not too glory, but you know what I'm saying? Because if they're going to be on Netflix, go to TV 14. And if SmackDown goes back to USA, they might as well just stay TV PG but be more edgy like how Raw was. I mean, when you think about it, you're getting the best of both worlds. Netflix is TV AMA, and SmackDown is TV PG but with edgier content. Because now I feel like you're getting the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying?
Both international and domestic with the Peacock. I mean, it's just like.
It's been the secret of WWE since the beginning, sort of, when there were all the territories, WWE saw cable television coming, and they went national first, right? Then it was closed circuit TV, where WrestleMania 1 was seen closed circuit TV. You had to go to a gym or a theater or whatever it was to watch it with everybody else. Then we sort of pioneered pay-per-view. We kept that alive for a lot of years before, then boxing came in and everything else. We switched to our own streaming service, which people said we were ridiculous to do at the time. They questioned the sanity of doing it because nobody was there. It was Netflix pretty much and us. And then everybody started going there. That was then seen as a genius move. Then as the bundling started happening, we pulled out of that and went into the deal with Peacock, which was seen as, wow, genius. We're not a tech company. We can't keep up with all the other, tech advantages that are happening and all this bundling. So we pull out, we go to Peacock, and then we go to the biggest streaming service there is. So you got to stay ahead of things. You want to be where you're at in the moment, but you also want to see what's coming around the bend and do the best you can. You don't want to be the first in, but you certainly don't want to be the last.
Isn't it what? Amen. You also don't want to be the last one out of any event. That is certainly, unless you're working it. But the thought of WWE always being like that, and then adding Nick Khan as the president to
Yeah.
You guys got to figure it out.
Dream team.
The last question here from our cowboy Tone Dude.
Yeah, Mr. H, we were actually talking last week, after watching a Raw, we were like, that Raw was amazing, or a PLE, that was an amazing PLE, Clash at the Castle, but where it was just like, there's something missing, and it's our tribal chief.
Yep.
Do we know
Roman
where our tribal
Reigns.
chief is?
Uh-oh.
Do we know
I
when
gotta
we can
hear
expect a
this.
return from
I
our
got to
tribal
hear
chief?
this.
Because we need him.
Yeah, so I would just say this, and when you talk about tribal chief, you're talking about Roman Reigns, no matter who
My
lays
nigga!
claim to that now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Solo says he's the head of the table.
But
and the tribal
everybody
chief.
knows.
You see the bloodline carrying on. You see Solo putting himself out there as a tribal chief. You see Tama Tonga coming in. You see Tongaloa coming in.
Jacob Fatu.
You see those guys start to run wild, and then the game changer happens of Jacob Fatu coming in this week, the Samoan werewolf.
Hey, what a weapon.
Dude,
Samoan nigga, let's
he's
go.
He's a game changer.
Yes, he is.
You very clearly see that shift of we're running the show now, and it's our this is the new tribal chief, this is the new head of the table, and this is where this is headed. That's only going to last for so long before there's a return. I can only imagine, and let's hope that Heyman's nerves can take it until he comes back, because Heyman looks like he's on his.
I'm telling y'all right now, his return at SummerSlam, pure sentiment. I can't wait to see it. It's going to draw huge numbers. I'm not lying when I said this. His return at SummerSlam is going to change numbers, y'all. No cap.
But it's an exciting time because that is ramping up incredibly big. Now they're starting to go directly after Cody Rhodes and the WWE title, so you can feel it ramping up. You can feel Raw ramping up. Seth Rollins' return. The Wyatt Six coming in.
Well,
yeah, if everybody makes it through them, you can really feel both shows ramping up as we come into summertime and we head into SummerSlam, where those stories will all blow up. And he mentioned Liv and Dom earlier. I would imagine at some point this is not going to sit well with Rhea.
Yeah.
So when you look at where we're at right now and how much excitement there is, and you still start thinking about, we don't have Roman, we don't have Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch is out on a hiatus right now.
Final boss.
The amount of people. Yeah, The Rock.
he's currently a UFC fighter.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So the amount of people that you have still to come, the amount of storyline that you still have to roll out, and then it makes me beg the question of, all right, so down the line, whatever resolves around the bloodline, whatever resolves around the Wyatts, like, man, that's, if those two come together, that's intriguing as hell, isn't it? So it's as I said earlier, it's
They're
thinking
cooking.
short term, it's
They're
thinking
cooking.
today, it's thinking midterm, and then it's thinking long term, and just constantly planning for the future. But as Pat said eloquently earlier, the future is very bright right now.
Yep,
And,
I would
man,
say.
we got the hottest announcer on the planet on
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody feels that way.
Monday night.
Yeah.
You've heard that. I'm sure you've heard that a few times. I'm very lucky to be there.
I do. And lucky Michael Cole is here today.
Oh.
I don't know if you're
Michael
you know,
Cole's
but
the
today's
GOAT.
his birthday.
Stop.
Is it?
No lie.
Today's his birthday.
You would know. You're his boss.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Every week you tell us it's his birthday.
I didn't even know it was his
Again.
birthday.
Well, one of the
I can see Pat McAfee singing happy birthday to Michael Cole, and Michael Cole is going to be embarrassed, but he was laughing at the same time. Hey, this week's Raw should be a good one, y'all.
and Raw or whatever, people were like, "That's not his birthday," and they look like.
You guys all right?
The hell?
See, that's I think Foxy's been doing. Foxy's been putting that up. Foxy's been putting that up all.
Frozen.
Come on.
We're frozen back here. Nope. Okay, we're back.
Oh, okay, Foxy.
Evan.
Foxy's.
I've been telling Pat. I have been telling you this whole switcher has been going frozen every time that's happened so far.
Okay, Foxy.
The
Foxy's
Wyatt
married
Six
now.
is involved.
Yeah, he's got this entire
Different
thing.
guy.
Yeah, Foxy.
I know you guys aren't going to buy into it until a camera rolls through there and he's in the corner shot in the head.
Listen,
That's what
that's what everybody on the internet saying. They're saying, "Oh, that's the Wyatt Six."
So he was shot in the head.
Foxy.
Yeah,
you're talking
Foxy.
about that being Foxy.
No, now I'm going to get shot in the head because you, Pat, 'cause now everyone's blaming me for this.
Well, Fox, you keep running the stupid video.
Is that his name,
No, I'm
Foxy?
telling you, this whole thing went frozen.
That's a
but
weird
in the
name,
past,
though.
We just were out, and it came back this time.
Okay, all right, Fox. Thanks.
Sure.
Anyways,
I'll just go on the like, having met most of your staff, it's not out of the question that it's a mistake.
You're right.
bingo. Thank you.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying this
Get
whole
it together
time.
back
Though
there.
it does seem very coincidental.
Okay. See, now you're doing this whole game.
we don't need
Time
that.
to play the game. That's what you just did right there.
Long-term planning. I hope you guys are still here next week.
Oh, Jesus.
Just saying.
What
Good
the hell?
Lord. Well, I mean, they can just clone us like they did Chad Gable. Either way,
Yeah.
Heard that's happening.
bring us back.
Anyways, Foxy, we get it. It's fun. You did your thing. Another time. Everybody's gonna say I'm dead again. I saw myself dead a few times.
It's not fun.
Mo.
It's not real. Anyways, I can't thank you enough for stopping by. Indianapolis is very thankful for the big three coming through.
Indianapolis should be thanking Pat McAfee. Like when Pat walks out tonight, everybody should stand
I
up.
can't wait to
and
watch
worship
Raw
him.
tonight.
No intro.
The reason we're here, the reason we're doing these shows, the reason we're all of it, Pat McAfee
All right.
has got us there.
Yeah, let's move on. And I think no intro tonight. Just have me show up at the
Thank you,
commentary
Pat.
table.
First of all, this is a good video. One of the best videos I've reacted to. Pat McAfee is the GOAT. Triple H, Paul Levesque. Thank you for making WWE great again. 3 events: Raw, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. What more can you ask for? Them going to Netflix, uncensored in 2025. What a time to be a wrestling fan. What a time to be alive.